Now then, everybody. Whoa, let me just sort out that microphone. Hang on. It's a bit fucking loud. There we go. How we doing, everybody? So, not done one of these for a while. This is the first full week back training for me, since the 2nd of August. The last class that I did was the 2nd of August. The same night, I went into A&E and I was in hospital for 2 weeks after that. I won't go into the whole story because you're all probably sick of hearing it by now. The amount of times I've told the story and give you updates and all that. So we will not go through it again. But I'm much better. I've got 2 weeks left on antibiotics. And then I can fully concentrate on physio, rehabbing the shoulder. Excuse me. And getting back to full fitness. The summary today, what I wanted to discuss, and the theme really is priorities. I went to the physio on Wednesday, and I was quite concerned with the lack of progress that I'd been making. If you'd have seen my emails, that I was kind of doing my own little makeshift routine, which was completely wrong. Who'd have known that I don't know the first thing about physiotherapy? So doing my own thing, the physio said it was far too advanced, far too like farther down the line than what I needed at the moment. So we've scaled everything right back to just basic things like wall walking. I've got this pulley thing that takes all the work off the injured side. So my strong side is doing all the work, which allows me to get a greater range of motion. But the point being, I was frustrated at lack of progress I was making, and the physio explained that because I've still got 2 weeks of antibiotic left, my body is still technically fighting an infection. Even though I feel well, I'm not ill. You need the course of antibiotics to make sure the infection's gone. As any prescription says, make sure you take the full course of antibiotics. So I've still got 2 weeks left. So the physio was saying that your body has priorities, and the priority for your body at the moment is to make sure that this septic arthritis, this infection has gone. And until then, you will not see much improvement in your shoulder mobility, shoulder strength, range of motion. And I was like, that makes complete sense. And I don't know why I didn't even think of that. So the priorities for me at the moment is to get rid of the infection, finish the antibiotics, do these stretches, what the physios told me. And then once I've finished the antibiotics, I can really start with the rehab. And it kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Your body's priority, my body's priority at the moment is to get rid of the infection. And by definition, only one thing can be a priority. So if your health and fitness is a priority for you at the moment and you really want to get dialed in with your nutrition, with your body composition, then maybe social activities, i.e. going out with friends, going out on the town on the weekend, more social, being more socially active is going to be on the back burner because you're more inclined to be eating a little bit unhealthily. You're going to be drinking more, maybe. You're going to have late nights, so your sleep isn't going to be conducive to body composition, all that kind of stuff. Similarly, is that even a real word? Similarly, if you want to concentrate on your family, maybe you've got a young family, you want to concentrate on your relationship with your partner, then your health and fitness might not be as dialed in as it needs to be. You got a young family, you're going to be up during the night. You're not going to have much sleep. Obviously, the child is your priority. Then your health and fitness, body composition, your workouts, they might not be as dialed in as they would be if they were your priority. Same with your business. If you're trying to grow a business or you're working on your business, then again, other things will fall by the wayside. Doesn't mean they have to stop. Doesn't mean you fully neglect the activities that you're not doing. But only one thing can be a priority. And that really like resonated with me when the physio was saying that. I don't even know why I wouldn't have thought of that really. And it's the same with jujitsu. You can only concentrate on one aspect of jujitsu at any one time. You can't improve everywhere at the same time. I was talking to someone last night about hitting plateaus. So when personally, in my opinion, and from my experience, when I've hit plateaus in the past, I've tried to concentrate on something else. So try and learn something else. Easier said than done when you're starting out. And really, when you're starting out, you're only going to go from strength to strength and improve because you're just learning. You've not got any skills as such already in the bank. So you're constantly just learning and absorbing like a sponge these new skills. Whereas once you get a little bit more experienced, you start to hit these plateaus where you feel like your game's not really growing. You you may be not as motivated to train. So a few things I've used when hitting plateaus or when you start feeling a little bit stagnated is to one, try and learn a new aspect of the game. So a position where I feel like I'm not good at, start to work on that. For example, maybe passing from half guard, maybe working off your back a little bit more if you like to be top pressure, then watch your guard game like, watch your submission escapes like. So letting yourself see how deep you can let someone get you in a submission before you start struggling to escape. That's always a good one, but it's a bit of a challenge on the ego because you've got to put yourself in those positions. And we're going to touch on that in a bit later on. Another one is go and cross train at a different gym. A little bit out your comfort zone, not really as much as competing, but it certainly gets you out your comfort zone a little bit more. That can help push through plateaus, training with different bodies. And again, another way of getting out of a plateau is to have something to concentrate on and a goal to work towards, i.e., a competition. It's always good for making you train. If you're competing, you've kind of got to do the work leading up to that competition, haven't you? If you're listening to this and you think, but that's great, I've only been training 6, even less than that, I've only been training 3, 6, 9, 12 months, then yeah, I get it. A lot of your time is going to be involved in surviving and learning how to defend. You're not going to have the ability to try and work on different aspects of the game. But that just comes with the territory. Eventually, you will build up that knowledge and that skill set where you can start to diversify and work on different aspects of the game. So excuse me, things that have gone well this week. Finally, got the Rogue Echo bike into the gym. That's been sat in my garage for since probably the end of July. And because of injuring my arm, getting infection, I've not been able to get it to the gym. But thanks to a few individuals from the gym, we was able to get it in there last night. I'm going to go down this morning and fix the arms and the pedals. And then we've got a new addition to the cardio equipment in the gym. So it's good to see people, and a few people have been asking, can they use the gym? For the time being, yes, you can use the gym, but only in the class times. So if you've got an injury or you've got some reason why you can't train jujitsu, then by all means, you can come in, use the gym equipment. So you're still in the environment. You're just not on the mats practicing jujitsu, but you're there. You can do your workouts in the gym, get some weights in, get some cardio done. Alternatively, if you want to work on your cardio and due to the numbers, it's odd, then by all means, if you want to keep your heart rate up or you want to get some extra cardio workout in, make it a little bit more intense, jump on the echo bike between rounds, jump on the rower, keep your heart rate up, and then jump back in again next round. By all means, do that. Don't wait to be asked. Just get on the bike between a round if you're the odd man out and get some extra cardio in. Thursday's class has been a success so far. So thank you, everybody. I appreciate everybody for turning up and training on the Thursday. I've got really good feedback from it. So essentially, Thursday is just sparring class, but not just open rounds all class. Different positions, different time scale of rounds, different objectives to achieve within those rounds. So last night we concentrated on a few positions that were like half positions, but I wanted to cause more scrambles. So you're only working for a minute each time or 45 seconds to either get your points to get that dominant position or to just cause a scramble and end up in a dominant position. And then we built it up to where we were working for longer periods and then we just did open rounds. So it is an intense class, plenty of breaks in between. But if you want to work towards a comp, and it isn't just solely a competition class, you don't need to be going into a comp to be able to attend the class. But if you want a little bit more intense sparring for the duration, you want to work on maybe your A game, even if you're looking to develop an aspect of your game, this is the class to do it in. Yeah. But thank you for those who have been attending the class. And I've had some really good feedback. So obviously it'll continue to go that way on Thursday. I've spoke to a few beginners and I've kind of, if you've only just really started training, then it's probably not the best class for you to attend at the moment. Get a month or so under your belt, but there's no point because you won't have the knowledge of techniques to spar and it'll just end up being a fight to the death and you'd be more susceptible to getting injured. Simple as that. So if you've only just started out training, then just give it a month, get to some fundamentals, get to the all levels classes, do a bit of no-gi. You'll get your sparring in that if you really want to spar, but that'll be more contained. 3 or 4 rounds after class, a bit of specifics. This is just a whole hour of positional, um, specific rounds and open rounds. Opportunities for learning. I thought I'd take this opportunity to just clarify a little bit of mat etiquette. So it's a weird one with jiu-jitsu because it as soon as you start to have like mano a mano, unarmed combat, people, it's like a primal thing and it's an attack on your ego. And it's not like just playing a five-a-side game of football or a game of basketball or tennis, whatever your chosen sport is. And if you lose, it doesn't really matter. You go home and you do it again the day after. Whereas jiu-jitsu becomes like an ego thing, whereas it's a primal, you really want to win. If someone taps you, you feel like it's an attack on your own personal like sovereignty. And it's crazy like the reactions. So bit of mat etiquette. If you get tapped, and you will get tapped, everyone gets tapped. I get tapped. Take it on the chin. Yeah, nobody likes getting tapped, but it's part and parcel of the game. You are going to get tapped. So don't kick out and get frustrated and slap the mat and throw your toys out the pram and make an overtly scene of frustration. Just take it on the chin. Go, nice mate, that was cool. Slap hands, go again. Yeah, there's no need. There's no need. Yeah, frustration. You can be frustrated that you should have done X, Y, and Z, but just a little bit of internal monologue. "Ah, I'll do that next time. I know how to defend that next time." Or review it on your drive home mentally. But there's no need to show displays of emotion like, oh, fucking hell. There's no need for that. Take it on the chin, bump fists, go again. The flip side of that coin is when we're training and practicing and we tap somebody else, we've not just won a medal at the World Championships. So there's no need to go running around the mat in victory, hands up in the air, bump fists like Andy Murray would do if he'd just won Wimbledon. There's no need for that either. If you get a tap, you might not even acknowledge it, apart from if you get a little wrist lock. If you get a wrist lock, then you can laugh at your partner a little bit. Yeah. Um, but again, yeah, that you don't need to be running around the gym going, yeah, I got the tap, I got the tap. Because twofold, someone else is going to tap you at some point, and it's not really conducive to an open training environment. And what I mean by that is you can't always just be practicing what you're good at. You're going to need to practice what you're not so good at and what you need to work on. And that means that sometimes practicing something new, you're not going to have the technique down and you're going to get caught in bad positions and you might get tapped. If everyone treats it like a competition, then nobody's going to open up and try new things. And then nobody gets better and everyone stagnates and everyone just sticks to their A game because no one wants to be ridiculed thinking they've just been beaten by someone running around and congratulating themselves for tapping someone. So twofold, don't be like taking it too harsh and slapping the mat when you've been tapped. And don't be running around the gym congratulating yourself when you tap someone else. The other bit of mat etiquette, and part of it is personal responsibility, but the other part of it is practicing good technique. I advise everybody to wear a mouth guard. If you like having teeth and you like your lips, then it's a good idea to get a mouth guard. One, accidental things happen, people's knees, people's elbows, things happen. It's a contact sport. Wear a mouth guard. I wear a mouth guard just because I like my teeth. Yeah, wear a mouth guard. The other thing is if we're practicing chokes in the gym, then you really want to be practicing them with good technique. So if I'm trying to get a choke on someone and my forearm is right across the teeth, right across the gums, then you're not really like looking after your training partner, right? You're not trying to practice good technique. And your partner should be tapping because you don't want your teeth bursting through your lips. You don't want to be going to work in the morning with cut lips and all sores in your mouth from where your teeth have been grinded against your lips. So one, just tap. And two, the person who's doing the choke, it's easy to go across the jaw and across the face. Much harder to make sure the technique is correct under the jaw, on the neck where it's supposed to be applied. So when we're applying rear naked chokes, when we're applying collar chokes from guard, from mount, whatever position, sometimes you gotta get it. It might happen if you can't really see what you're doing, but let's try and get the technique correct. And the person who's being choked, or the other person, both of you basically, wear a mouth guard. If you forget your mouth guard, then there's always some hanging around the gym. People fucking leave mouth guards all the time. So please feel free to take one off the top of the fridge and wear that for the duration of the class. Yeah. Points to tech forward. I had goals that I wanted to achieve this year. And as we move, we've got 1 month left of quarter 3, and then we move into Q4. That'll take us up to the end of the year, end of 2024, which is crazy how fast this year's gone. So I had goals that I wanted to achieve. I was working towards with a few other people from the gym, competing in IBJJF competitions. That is something I'd set a goal for myself by the end of the year or by early next year. Obviously, that's not going to happen. So I needed to reassess what I wanted to achieve. So for me, as we go into quarter 4, my sole goal now is helping people get better and improve So coaching, obviously, it's like an 80-20 split. 80% was on coaching and development and getting people where they need to be. And 20% obviously was my own training, my own participating in the classes, getting involved in the sparring, going cross training. Whereas now 100% is going to be just solely on coaching for the time being until probably the end of the year. So I'm going to be looking at ways we can improve the club itself, getting more eyes on at people's rounds, looking at areas of development where we can bring into the syllabus, what we need to work on, where we're weak. Also giving people pointers here and there, what they need to be working on more so than ever. And I really wanted to get you to think about, I've spoken to a few people about, again, hitting these plateaus. Um, but what do you want to be working on for yourself by the end of Q4? Start thinking now about what you want the last quarter of this season to be about, the last quarter of this year, sorry, to be about. Is it building up to the competition in Lee at the Sports Village? Is it to improve a new aspect of your game? Is it to attend more classes and build up some more momentum if you've not already been training regular? Is it to lose weight? What do you want Q4 to be by the end of the year? What does that look like for you? And I think that's all I've got for today. But lots to think about, lots to take on board. But it's been amazing to be back in the gym. I say it all the time, and I'm glad I took my advice. A few people had volunteered to take some more classes for us, because I'm not quite there yet physically. It's been a tough week. I've been exhausted this week, getting back into the routine of coaching and just being out and about. Um, but I've wanted to be in the gym. I've wanted to be around the environment, around the culture, around everybody who's been turning up to classes. And it's the advice I give everybody else. If you can, even if you're injured, if you're ill, stay the fuck away. Um, but if you're injured and you can, come and sit and watch the class, take notes. Like I've said, use the gym, sit on the treadmill, sit on the rower, sit on the echo bike, watch the class, be in the environment. I know the WhatsApp group gets a bit much sometimes with all the back and forth, but that's part of the community, isn't it? Engage in that. So it's been good for me to get back in that environment again this week and amongst it. Keep one foot in the door, even if you can't be training. Stay in touch, and that is all I've got. So I'll see you at lunchtime today. This is going out Friday. Weekend classes, I think Dale's back tomorrow for the leg lock class Saturday morning, 10 to 11. And then everything's back to normal as of next week. Details on the end of September quarterly next week coming up. And cool. See you on the mats.